Місячне сяйво понад тихою водою, побачень випадкових в чужині, безсонь з коханою веселого двобою, і волю вели мури кам'яні.
This song indeed hits hard, and that's what Dana Kyiv said, and I can totally agree with this. Hey camera, it's time to focus on my face. Thank you. Good to see you all in the chat. It's Boombox, yes, one of the most famous Ukrainian bands, and obviously this song is about war, and it is called Alive. And I think, yeah, one of the most powerful lines in this song is, it's not your fault that you stayed alive. And it is indeed not the fault of those who stayed alive. Cool tune. Thank you, Paul Dever. It's not me who wrote it and played it, but at least I've chosen to play it today. Yeah, it is a power. I need translation, so I will provide a translation. Let's go, and let me read it for you. So it begins with alive. It's not your fault that you're alive. They say the easiest way to end a war is to die in one. The samurai is the loneliest of all, for the dared to see that his life is no more important than another's. Everyone knows the beginning and the end of a poem, and a sharp blade fears not to strike, but rust. Sorry, not the strike, but rust. Bullets in zinc coffins are ashamed they're not still in the barrel. It's not your fault that you're alive. And if I sink into darkness or find myself in fire, what will I need then? What will I take with me? Faith in the hellish flames before the eyes of regret, the only thing I pray for. Fate, grant me. The fading peaks of emotion losing meaning. How at times we were caught up thick and heavy in defeat. How Cossacks laugh repairing old wagons. How the devil's enemy rages. How cold it is at night in a grey coat. How beyond the last checkpoint rock and roll ends. And behind the curtain the civilians dream of a deal. And when you order your fancy unagi roll on a Friday night, remember this evening has a name, a face, a family. And if I sink into darkness or end up in fire, do you hear me? What will I need then? What will I take with me? Faith in the hellish flames before the eyes of regret. The only thing I pray for. Fate, grant me. Moonlight over still water. Accidental meetings in foreign lands. Sleepless nights with a lover. Joyful duels and freedom, not stone walls. Laughing pubs with living friends, inspiration before writing a song. Pour all the sediment out of my soul and give me one more spring day. One more spring day. Moonlight over still water, accidental meetings in foreign lands, sleepless nights with a lover, joyful duels, and freedom not stone walls. Love in pubs with live-in friends. Inspiration before writing songs. Pour out all the sorrow from my soul and give me one more spring day. One more spring day. A bouquet of hydrangeas, and she is happy. A confession both passionate and shy. The endless variety of urgent tasks, and the understanding that your time has come. That's a masterpiece, I must say. Very, very good song. With a deep meaning, and I think you can interpret it both like never coming back from war, or coming back from war because you cannot find yourself in a civilian life. From the music video you can say this, but from the lyrics you may also say that it is accepting the end. Well, indeed, each word heavy with meaning. Fuck, it got me. Fucked me up a bit. Robert Jansar, we had a very powerful song in the beginning of the stream, and yeah, it's about war. I think I need to distract myself somehow from this and stop thinking of this. Yeah, Brigitte, it's touching, very touching, and heavy. There are too many guys who get through this and who will get through this, or who got through this, but unfortunately their time has come. And this is a very fresh song. I think it was released only 3 days ago, and welcome everyone. I see you guys in the chat, and good to see you all together in good and rough, heavy times. Yeah, thanks for the hugs, everyone. Hello, Corey. Good to see you.
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm doing all right, man.
That's
Are we
good.
live?
Yeah, we're live right away because I usually invite the guests when I'm already live because I need to warm up a bit and warm up the people.
Yeah, of course, man.
The
But you were live
community.
earlier, right? I think you had some other guests on, right? Or-
No, today I was on Free Azov.
Okay.
I remember we met there on Free Azov with you, so I still had no guests today. So today, well, Ana is gonna join us if she has electricity because they are being bombed right now, and she told me there
Oh, wow.
there was an incoming somewhere super close, But I told her that I'm happy that she's writing this to me. That means she's still alive, and not under the rubble. Because yeah, you can actually survive the rubble if you're lucky, but you will definitely be not gonna be messaging anyone saying, "Ooh, that was close." You'll
Yeah.
probably say, "Shit, I'm under the rubble," even if you have connection there. Yeah. So guys, if you don't know Corey, he's an American living in Ukraine since I think 2015.
2015, exactly. Yeah.
2015, and he is visiting Free Azov, and not only that. Can you tell us more about yourself? I think it's going to be better than I'm going to be introducing you, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. So my name is Corey Nieto. I moved to Ukraine in 2015. Yeah, I was traveling around a bit, and I came to Ukraine to do some volunteer work in 2015. Ended up really loving it. Decided to stay. I was working mostly for IT companies here in Ukraine, and then after the full scale invasion, I started to realize kind of what is important, and I wanted to share with all my friends back home, and with anybody that follows me on social media, what is really going on in Ukraine, because there's a lot of Russian disinformation out there. So I decided to switch to media.
Mhm.
Yeah, then my social media started to grow because I was creating content about Ukraine. And then I started to work for such amazing media companies here in Ukraine. So the one I work for now is Zero Maidan Press. I'm a video journalist there. Yeah, basically, I do some small reports for our social media as well as do all the video editing, just basically full cycle video production there.
Mhm.
And yeah, then recently I got linked up with Devin. It was maybe not recently, maybe about last year. And yeah, just recently, Devin and I were talking about this new project he wanted to work on, which I wanted to discuss with you today. But maybe we can wait for Anastasia to come because she's a part of this project as well.
Yeah, I actually invited Devin today, but unfortunately he's traveling in the train today, and he told me there's no way there's going to be a stable connection there. So let's repeat it with the same guests next week. So if you want to also participate in the same kind of stream, but with Devin next week, next Sunday, you're invited, Corey.
Oh yeah, totally. I definitely could do it. Yeah, I may go to. Was it? Maybe you can correct me, Rick. It's Korsun Shevchensky. Is that? Am I saying it right?
Sounds like a
Do you know?
real town in Ukraine. Let me check.
Yeah, it's in
Korsun
Cherkasy Oblast. I just don't know how to say it properly. Korsun Shevchensky.
Shevchenkivsky. Uh-huh.
Shevchenkivsky. Okay.
Yeah, not an easy one. But actually,
Yeah.
you already saying it pretty close to the original. Well, you spent 10 years here. You probably know some Ukrainian already, right?
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I started to learn Russian, and then after the full-scale invasion, I decided to switch to Ukrainian. My Ukrainian is still not the best, but yeah, I'm an ambassador for this Ukrainian language school.
Uh-huh.
So I promote their content. I also create content for them, and yeah, I get lessons from them. So I'm learning Ukrainian, but I don't speak it as good as you, of course, Rick.
Ah, of course. I'm a native Ukrainian speaker.
Yeah, of course,
It's
of course,
hard.
man.
The
I see the
languages,
haircuts.
the languages are
Very
very
Ukrainian.
different. The English and Ukrainian, they're just different in their types, and it's not easy to learn
Well,
Ukrainian.
one thing I did notice though, from being here for 10 years, when I first came, the English language level was very low. But now it's getting a lot better. I noticed a lot of the younger people are starting to speak it pretty well.
Yeah.
Even people around my age, they're starting to pick it up. I don't know. It's one of the big changes, because the reason why I started to learn Russian, Ukrainian, or Suruzhik when I first came, it's not that I wanted to learn. It just, in order to survive in Ukraine, you have to speak one of these languages, because a lot of people don't speak English.
Yeah.
So unless you're gonna, and I guess smartphones were out at the time, but they weren't as common as they are now.
Hmm.
So you can't translate easily. You can't order taxis via app. You have to actually call them, or you have to see the guy on the street. It was a lot different back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
10 years ago it was different. And we already had mobile phones, but remember how bad the cameras were on
Oh yeah.
those. So it's basically a huge progress, because no, it's of course not mostly about the cameras, but usually it correlates. Like if cameras are getting better, then all the rest is getting better. So the CPUs, well, basically now we have computers in our pockets. They are more powerful than computers 5 years
Hmm.
ago. So yeah,
No, it's
it's
true. It's true. Hey, what?
Hello, I didn't know why it's
Hello.
me with my secret name. no, no longer a secret name, I guess. But yeah, that's it's me. It's supposed to be Anastasia as always, but for some reason it shows my actual secret name. But
my
whatever,
actual
you busted
name.
me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You look awesome, by the way.
Oh, thank you. That's new hair. Thank
Is
you for noticing.
is it because
Yeah.
you just been bombed?
Maybe. Like I don't know. Maybe that improves someone's appearance. But I'm happy I wasn't bombed to death though. So maybe that's
Yes,
what.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm
Hello,
also.
Corey.
Oh, hey, Nastia,
Been a
it's good to
while.
see you. It's been a while. Yeah,
I
it's been so
was.
long.
Yeah, you haven't seen each other for so long. You're about to work. Wait, you're already working
Yeah,
together,
when
right?
Corey
Yeah,
came here with Devin to Kharkiv and shit, and like we hang out a little bit, but that's it pretty much. So
yeah. It was
it's
like my
been
first and only time in Kharkiv. Yeah,
yeah, but I don't remember how long it was. Like
I was there for like
mm,
2 nights, 3 days, something like this. Yeah, I was just there
yeah,
for
not,
a quick
not
trip. I was doing a video for Kiev Post about
yeah. I
different.
mean, how long
Yeah.
it was back way back, like a
Oh,
couple
how
months
long?
ago,
Oh,
or like
yeah,
half
it
a
was
year
month.
ago, or some
It
shit.
was probably like
I don't
4
know.
months ago, something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
Oh,
it was a while
Corey,
Yep.
back.
is it
Yeah.
California Republic there?
That's California Republic.
Uh
That's where I'm
huh.
from.
That's cool.
We only hang out with the California people, okay? That's
Exactly.
the rule.
Yeah, Devin is
West Coast is
also.
the best coast.
Devin
Yeah,
is also
guys.
from California. Wait.
Uh,
What about our dear friend Dylan Burns? Is he also from California?
I don't think so.
Wait.
my
Devin's
frozen
from
tofu.
California.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
only hanging out with California people.
but I don't think
So.
Dylan's from California. I think he's from like North
So.
Carolina or
Dylan,
something.
no, he's
South
how it's
Carolina.
called? Some strange little thingy, Maryland or something like that. I don't know.
Maryland, that's a strange little thingy. Let's go
Yeah,
with that.
I don't know. Okay, it's like Washington something, but near there somewhere. But I think Maryland. He said, if I'm not mistaken, he
Yeah, it
gave me
sounds about right.
socks that says Maryland on them, and it has like crabs on it. Like
Crabs.
it's there. Yeah,
Crabs.
crabs.
Okay.
So I think that's
Okay,
from.
we're just gonna go with Maryland.
Uh-huh.
Wait, Anna. Since you said we're hanging out with California people now, doesn't mean we don't hang out with Dylan Burns anymore. What the hell?
Dylan is an exception. I grant the exception. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Mostly California people. Let's go with that. More inclusive, as
Yeah,
they say.
that's more inclusive. That's better. Okay, I think we can move on now. Okay,
Yeah,
so
we have a big drone attack today,
Well,
this evening, but also during the like morning day. I have like light bombs and stuff, and drones mostly. But now like four Shaheeds, and all of them here where I live. So that's not fun. But electricity is on. So
okay,
nice.
that's
Yeah,
good.
when there was an attack on Kiev, the electricity was gone the whole day. And the
yeah.
electricity has been on since I guess yesterday, and it hasn't gone off, but I'm kind of crossing my fingers that it doesn't, but who knows what's ahead.
Hmm.
Yeah, and this is
We had
gonna
like a
be
12-hour outage a couple of days ago, I think, but mostly I'm kind of lucky that I live in an area that doesn't get like that much of a shutdowns. I guess because I'm like connected to something like important that they don't want to turn off. I don't know exactly what,
ah.
and not gonna say,
M-
not to spoil the location, but
Maybe you're the
it's
important
something.
one.
Maybe, but some people
Yeah.
say like if it's a metro station or maybe like a hospital or something of the sort, sometimes you're lucky to be connected with that block, basically,
Mm-hmm.
and then you don't get shut down or you have emergency sort of like electricity thing going on.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's still fucked because sometimes the metro station and hospitals also get shut down because of the like massive attacks on like electricity and stuff like that. So I
Uh,
don't know, but mostly
guys,
I'm kind of good with my electricity stuff.
It's just like that with my rehabilitologist. His house is connected to the same line as the hospital, so they are just not
Mm-hmm.
turning off the
Yeah.
electricity.
When there was a big,
It's a
huge
hard word.
outages like daily ones in Kharkiv, like way back, and like when it was I think 23, yeah, when we all had like massive outages of like electricity and stuff like that, and I felt bad because I didn't get them. And everyone was like complaining, I haven't had electricity for 10 hours, like 14 hours. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
didn't want to say I had it because I felt bad.
yeah. At
Yeah,
that time,
that I'm
it was the
lucky.
winter, and I was living on the 16th floor, and I was moving out of
Oh,
that apartment,
yeah.
so I had to move all my stuff up and down the stairs from the 16th floor. It was koshmar.
Koshmar, guys, is a
Yeah, it
It was
was
nightmare.
кошмар.
pretty
Well, I lived in Kiev for a little while when when my father was killed and stuff. My mom lived
bad.
there for a while because of the she couldn't stay in Kharkiv, well, emotionally and stuff. So I
Mhm,
went with her so she wouldn't be alone and stuff. And I lived in my father's friend, his childhood friend gave us his apartment so we could stay, which was very nice of him in Kiev. But we had like 14th floor, I think 14th or 15th,
mhm.
something like that as well. And I also had to like go all the way up, all the way down with no lift, nothing. And pizza dude was very funny because we ordered pizza and there was a big blackout, and he calls me and he's like, I'm so sorry, but can you come down? Like, what like floor you live on? And I'm like 14. And he's like, oh, I have like surgery on my knee just a couple of days ago. Can you please go down? Because I'm like in pain. I cannot get up that high. And I'm like, no problem. I'm gonna get down. So yeah, that was kind of
Guys,
trippy.
Oh,
I
by the way, since you're here, Nastya, are we going to talk about East West FM, or are we going to do that next stream?
Yeah, a little bit, I guess.
what's an
Next time when
East-West
Devin's
FM?
here,
It's
that's the
Devin's project.
company.
Wait,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it's
that's
called.
the
Yeah,
uh,
East-West. But FM is not the radio, right? It's something
Yeah, it's like
else.
foreign media or something,
Foreign
right?
media, yes,
yep.
yes.
Yeah.
East-West FM, yes. Now I
I
remember.
mean, I always call it like Cowboys Cossacks in my head because I don't know, it just slaps that name. I like it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what I call it. But yeah, it's just
Okay.
we can talk a little bit about that, and when next time we're here, Devin could probably add up
Yeah,
because it's like kind
let's
of his
guys
project.
begin then talking about that. Tell us about the media. Tell us about the.
Yeah, you Corey go on, and then I will join in.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, I was hanging out with Devin recently, and he's very excited because he got the funding for it, and so we're starting this project. And the first thing he's working on, I believe it's some airstrike documentary or something like this. He's close to finishing it. He's very proud of it, and he did a lot of work with Nastya, which helped him immensely, tremendously. But anyway, so Devin was telling me because I was asking him, so why'd you decide to do this? Because he was working with Dylan Burns, and he was doing like his own kind of freelance stuff. And he said, you know what? He's met a lot of people. He's seen a lot of stuff here in Ukraine. He's met a lot of people, and he noticed that a lot of people weren't reporting the right way, or they were just doing it in a very selfish manner. And he just wanted to, I guess, get the word out to a Western audience about what's really going on in Ukraine in a more kind of objective, proper way, I guess. But he's been doing a lot of work with Nastya. I just see him when he's in Kiev. We work together at a cafe, just edit videos and chats. And so I'm working more on the short form edits and content. I have some ideas for some mini documentaries that I was pitching to Devin as well. Um, a lot of the stuff Devin wants to do and a lot of stuff Nastya does as well. It's very kind of war related, very heavy, and it's very important. And the stuff I kind of like to do, it's kind of related to the war, but it's in a different way because I like to do human stories. I like to do different cultural events here in Ukraine and kind of reports on them. But everything is related to the war, so there's no way you can kind of get around that. But Devin and Nastya, their specialty is definitely showing exactly what's going on in the East, and I guess like how I guess how not complacent, I just how involved the community has to be, the Western community has to be in order for Ukraine to achieve victory. And that's super important. But I'm talking to Devin to see if I can do these other kind of mini documentaries about cultural stuff. If, for example, I have this idea about Kharkiv, so I know a lot of these I guess aquatic athletes, some that are Olympians, some are European champions, they're all Ukrainian. And one thing I noticed about them, they all come from Kharkiv.
Hmm.
And so I started to
Yeah,
question,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I was interviewing this girl, Natalia Zharkova. She recently won the European Freediving Championship, and the third place was Sadurska. She's from Mykolaiv, but she trains in Kharkiv. And I asked her, I said, "What makes Kharkiv so special? Like, why do all of these athletes come from Kharkiv?" She said, "First of all, the coaches are there. There's really good training facility. Even in the Soviet Union, like a lot of the swimmers in Ukraine were training in this area because it has such a history.
Mhm.
And then after the full-scale invasion, shortly after the invasion, the city was attacked and the Aquarina was damaged a bit. So they couldn't train there for a while, and it really hurts their, I guess their European, I guess their ambitions to be medalist, whether it's the Olympics, European Championships, stuff like this. So one of the questions I asked her was, if Kharkiv keeps getting bombed and maybe the Russians push and that you can't train that area anymore, will it affect the athletes' chances, to actually compete on the world stage in the Olympics? Yeah, it will for sure. We won't have the representation that the athletes in Ukraine need in order to have something that is like soft power, and Russia will take that away from us as well. And it's all intertwined with the war. But this is kind of like stuff that I want to do, and I was talking with Devin about doing this as well. But anyway, so Nasi, I'll let you take it away because yeah, you and him, you guys are very involved with this new documentary he's working on.
Yeah, first thing I would say, like, there's place for both, I think. Like, you can add like cultural war stories of people that are less like obvious, like, being bombed and stuff like that. That's
Yeah, yeah.
obvious. But there's like also other elements that, like you said, like the swimmers, like how the war affects people that you wouldn't necessarily like immediately think about, but it affects them still. It affects life in every way. So I think
Hmm.
it's like very valid to report on that. But what like you said about like I guess you can say our focus is something that I think is underreported big time, which is like the more morbid, I guess you could say, more dark side of things, because oftentimes you would see like with firefighters, have you guys noticed, you will see reports when they like pick kittens out of the burning buildings, and it's like all cutesy, but in reality that's like 1% of it, and like the rest is completely different. Like, for example, my close friend Turgut, who is a firefighter in Kharkiv, seen horrible shit, horrible shit that nobody saw, nobody talks about. The real reality of his work is finding charred corpses and finding families and children being, killed, under pulling them out of buildings falling. So that's the real kind of thing, and I don't want to like force anyone to see like gore or like, bloody stuff that we see, with our own eyes. But I at least want that side to be really covered in a way that is more real, more like authentic. And the SNS project we did, we're doing right now with Devin, is about that. It's about how the cities survive, how their coordination centers work, how ambulances, firefighters, first responders, rescuers, all those people together, they keep the cities going. So they keep them even under shelling, under bombing. They keep people alive. I personally had, my place, my father's house, being bombed, and I had people come and, help us at the scene. I know what it's like to interact with people, like, from DSNS and stuff like that. So I really like was quite, invested in showing people that, and I don't think there's much on it. So Devin was also like very hyped about it, and he was especially hyped when I got him to meet Bogdan, who's director of DSNS in Kharkiv, and he showed us this like super secret bunker coordination center that, coordinates everything. It's like this American sort of like movie with a bunch of like monitors everywhere, and people like click stuff, and it's like it looks like a some CIA thingy. I don't know, like they are very similar to like your 911 thing, like that you have in the United States. So it's like all
Mhm.
coordinated in one thing. But also it's very important, I think, to talk about now, especially because half of that project was sponsored by USAID, or like
Oh wow.
USAID, or whatever you call it. And since Trump cut that off, it's, in my opinion, now is kind of like the time to actually highlight the work that they did, because people talk about like stupid things about it. I often hear people talk about, I mean, it's not stupid to prevent diseases, obviously, but people like talk about like condoms in Africa or something, which is, again, it's quite useful. You don't want people to like catch diseases and to that to spread to the entire world. But other than that, it's not just, condoms in Africa and gender studies. It was like, for example, the coordination center that protected Kharkiv and helped us to track what kind of like missiles, bombs, drones, what kind of response we need. It's very expensive, so it's like millions of dollars there, and in half of it was sponsored by USA. That most people have absolutely no idea. I certainly had no clue. So that's
Mm.
kind of things I would like our project to highlight, and I really want people to, I'm like a translator fixer sort of thing. But like, for example, your format is something that I and Devin can't do, so we want that. We want the person who can do that, but we also want a person now who can do editing for us as well, because Devin has been doing like everything himself, and it's like a bit too much, and you can't really push projects like fast enough, or like really post stuff like couple times a month when you're doing everything yourself, which is something I have told him like for a while, which he knew, but he didn't have like the money to do it because he was sponsoring himself. And now that we found someone who can sponsor us, we can really try to do like the kind of media we want, and we don't really see that much now, at least not in
Oh,
the
yeah,
25. I guess it was in
yeah,
22, but not now.
yeah, yeah.
But
So,
yeah.
oh yeah, so Aziza, I just met you right now. Can you tell me a bit about yourself?
Yes, of course. Uh, I'm I'm from Crimea. I'm
Hmm?
singer songwriter. I create my own music in Crimean Tatar language, in Ukrainian and English. I'm I'm I have education like actors of puppet theater, animation theater.
Okay, cool.
So I performed. So I did performance last time. I did performance about colonized Crimea and took this performance to Tunisia. So a lot of I met a lot of changes after the full scale war, especially about my identity. And I'm also make streams. So and Eric helped me a lot with the rollers with the friends of Ukraine. No, I do
Nice.
my music. It's my music is my life, and Ukraine and Crimea is my life, and it's just
Yeah,
small
yeah,
information about me.
yeah. I've been to several events with the Korean community here in Kiev. Yeah, so at this Krina Mri festival, it was like on no, it's not Krina Mri, sorry, it was Indigenous Peoples Day at the Botanical Garden here in Kiev.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I went there and I met so the girl Jamila, как будет? Orik, Jamila
Jamila.
Nafo,
Jamila.
Jamila. I always say it improperly,
Aziza knows
but
Jamila too, I guess. Right? Aziza.
yeah, so she's like
Jimmy,
Korean. So
Jamila.
Jamila,
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy,
Jamila.
no, I don't know.
No, you
Yeah,
don't.
but yeah, she's great. Anyway, she was there as well, and I see her at the NAFO stuff with Rick also. But anyways, they had Korean music, they had arts and crafts, and I met this guy. He is one of the few Krimchaks, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like this even smaller indigenous Korean kind of
Yeah.
group. Yeah, so it was very interesting talking to him, and then I also went to Korean Flag Day. It was at Mikhailska Polsha here in Kiev, and so I talked to some military Korean guys. I did like a video about that as well, and then I also went to so there was this, it's called Enter DJ. It's this music therapy class. And so I went there and they were doing the kind of this master class on incorporating Korean music with kind of DJing and sounds. So they were getting
Ah,
this Korean traditional music and they're blending it with kind of like their DJ sets. And it was really unique and it was really cool. And the people there, sure, they're enthusiasts of DJs and mixing, but there's also people there that were in the military that it just helps them kind of relax. And it's a free thing. So people just go there and just do it. Yeah.
yeah. It's my friends. It's a Shum Rave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shum Rave. They call it themselves, but it's my friend,
Mhm.
and they did this project. They recorded Crimean Tatar musicians that like play old Crimean Tatar music, and they work with different sound producers that work in different styles, and just like make this project with like different version of this, recordings of voices or instruments with a lot of sounds, modern sounds. It was a pretty good,
Yeah.
great project, and they really wanted to support Crimean Tatar culture. Yeah, they're great, really.
Yeah, I went to one of their presentations about this, and also went to one of their courses when they're doing the music therapy. And they did it at. Are you living in Kiev at all?
No,
No, I'm
I'm
living in
trying to
Odessa
drag her
region.
to Kiev, but it's
Yeah,
still.
come to Kiev. Everything's in Kiev. Yeah, I used to live in Odessa for about a year, and then last year I moved back to Kiev, and yeah, I love it here.
Sorry
Yeah,
Yeah,
to to
some,
raise the
something
topic
to think
again.
about.
I'm agree
But
with you. But I also, it was very hard for me to live in Odessa region because it's a little bit another, like Odessa is can be close to Crimea with this colonized history,
Mhm.
especially because of a lot of people from governments, of a lot because of Pushkin, Russian culture, and etc. And but you can find really great people in this region, and really great activists and patriots, and they make Odessa much better because they show from own life how you can be deep in culture, in your fighting in the era with a lot of people that's very far from you, and you try to change this atmosphere, you change this mood, changes people, and I really respect this so much, and this is why it's begin to be a little bit better in this region for me. But it really, I like Kiev and Kiev region, and I live in Kiev in the past. But a lot of organizations, they invite me with my project with concerts in Kiev, and
Even I do that.
just I wasn't on this event. It was for indigenous people, and in general, for people who don't know about Crimean Tatars, it's very great and very interesting. But for me, it's you know people see us like very naive and kind and like cute nation. Then it's good for the dancing and for the plov, for the something like this, and not with a deep interesting um you know music, or for example not so conservative form
Mhm.
of our um represent presentation, how to say in English, right? And so this is why these days and this month I research this, and I try to understand how to move ahead, because you can find a lot of um, problems with the communication with our people, with communication with people who have the power in through our people, and it's really hard to do something new. You have no supporting, you have no understanding from these people, and even this my friends from Shumrei that talk about it, that they did this project, and it was very hard that this Crimean Tatars don't want to, for example, make repost or support this on oven channels because they're a little bit
Mhm.
passive, and they said, why it is like this? We did it for like we did it with oven money, we did it because we like it, but why you don't want to support us? So it's very, when you more time in the Crimean Tatar community, you can understand how it's not everything perfect in our but in general it's much better than it was before the occupation of Crimea, before full scale war. So especially after the full-scale war, Ukrainian began to understand Crimean Tatars more.
It's kind of like a blessing and a curse, I guess. It's similar to Ukraine. A lot of people couldn't point to Ukraine on a map, and then the war happened, and everyone knows Ukraine. And
Yeah,
people want to
yeah,
steal Ukraine. They understand the culture a bit more, but it came at the price of a war.
yeah.
And yeah, maybe I can answer a couple questions at once. But
Please do.
question, yeah, about it was from where is it? Oh, Cheryl. So why did it originally come to Ukraine?
Hmm.
And I will tell you like a story that kind of relays into this, I don't know, kind of what we were talking about before. But anyways, so what attracted me to Ukraine? First of all, I was living in LA. I was studying, and then I started dating this Russian girl. Like we all make mistakes, like forgive me. And yeah, and we were together for like 5 years. Like I was in LA, and I remember it was 2014, 2013, 2014. Yeah, I think 2013. And this is like around the time the Euromaidan protests were going on. And it was one of her friends' birthdays, and all her friends are like Russian. So we're going to like some fancy club like in downtown LA. We're there. It's me and her like Russian friends and one of my American friends. And we go to like a diner afterward. And it's me, my American friend, about 4 or 5 Russian girls, and then one Ukrainian guy. And I don't know anything about Russian politics, Ukrainian politics, whatever. I'm just like American, just trying to live my life. And then they're talking about the annexation of Crimea because it just happened, as well as the occupation of Donbass, Euromaidan protests. And the girls were saying like, it's Crimea is Russian. Like they all speak Russian there. They want to be part of Russia. Like, what's the problem? And the Ukrainian guy is like, well, it's not Russia. Like it's Ukrainian land, and it's like Crimean first of all before that, but it's Ukrainian land. You can't just take it and then have some illegal referendum. You can't do that. This is not how anything works. And they go, well, they want to be part of Russia. Sure, it might have not gone the way that it's like legal, but they wanted to be, so they are. And I was just listening to this and I didn't really have any opinion, so I'm like, okay, whatever. And they were all like, all the Russian girls were like on the same side, and they're like arguing with this one Ukrainian guy. And it was so interesting looking back on this, because now I look back on it with everything that I've experienced, thinking like, what the fuck is wrong with these girls? They're living in LA for like most of them
Mhm.
at least like 5+ years, like 10 years even, and they're still having like this Russian mindset of imperialism.
Mhm.
And anyway, so to answer her question, so yeah, in the chat, yeah, so after so I broke up with her, and then I traveled across the US, and I developed this wanderlust. I came to Europe, and then I came to Ukraine because I had to leave the Schengen area, and I was doing some volunteer work. And yeah, I did that for a month, and then I got offered a job teaching English for 2 years. I did that for 2 years, and I started working in IT for about 5, 7 years. But the whole time I just really loved Ukraine. And whenever I would leave for maybe a month or two, I would always want to come back. I'd miss Ukraine. I'd miss Ukraine more than the US. And then I come back to Ukraine, I felt happy. And after like some years, it took me some years to realize like I'm happier like in Ukraine. Like what makes it so special? Then I started to explore what made it so special. I went to different cities, talked to different like Ukrainian people, and I realized like this is my new home. Like I love it here, and Ukraine, it's just special to me, and this is where I want to live
Hmm.
basically the rest of my life. And so I was basically just settled down here, like roots, my job, like all my friends are here. And then the war happened, and a week before the war, I was at my friend's wedding in Kiev, and they were like, "Do you think they're gonna invade?" And I was like, "I don't think they're gonna invade, dude. Like they're just like posturing. They probably want some handouts, whatever." And then some of my friends, they were like, dude, they're gonna invade. Like people at the embassy, like people I know, the US embassy, they said they're gonna invade, and they're already leaving the embassy like right now. And they tell everyone else to leave because they're for sure gonna invade. And so I told my ex-girlfriend at the time, I said, hey, they might invade, so maybe we go to your parents' place in Mukacheva and we stay there for about maybe a couple weeks. And if nothing happens, we come back to Kiev. And if something happens, then we just stay in Mukacheva. And at the time, I was living in north of Kiev, like in Kotsubinsky. So it's like the
Ooh.
neighborhood next to like Irpin and Bucha. Like my
Mhm.
doctor's office was in Bucha. Like when I did my tax documents, it was in Irpin. I was in Buchansky Rayon. Like, whatever. So I knew it wasn't going to be safe because I'm in the northern neighborhood. So we went to Mukacheva. And then, yeah, a week later, they invaded, and we stayed in Mukacheva for a few months. Yeah, and then I decided I want to kind of like leave the country for a bit because it was I don't know. It's like you're on lockdown. It's like COVID time, and you're kind of like going crazy. I'm living in a flat with her, her two brothers, her dad, her mom, and then both her brothers decided to join the military. So it was like really sad and like this. I don't know. The vibe in the house was just very somber. It wasn't really healthy. And I said, maybe we need to like step out of the country for a little bit just to kind of unwind. And she couldn't do that, and we decided to kind of like split at this time. It's like kind of a sad story. But whatever. Yeah, I left for a little while, but then I came back to Ukraine, and then I moved to Odessa, and then I moved back to Kiev. That's basically my story in a nutshell.
Mhm. And when did you come back the last time? Was it 2023, 24?
Yeah, so the thing is, so I moved to Portugal because I got like a visa because I'm a resident of Ukraine, so I got a visa to Portugal, like temporary protection. And then I was there for I would say 3 months in Portugal. Then I found an apartment there, and I was working for an IT company, like head of sales, so I was getting like really good money. So I was at an apartment in Portugal. Spent 3 months there. Then I spent 3 months in Ukraine, like in Kiev, and go back and forth. And then when I was in Portugal, I met all my friends are Ukrainian, so I met a girl there from Odessa, and we got together. And then I moved to Odessa with her. I got rid of the apartment. Then I moved to Odessa, and I was there for about a year. We split up, and then I came back to Kiev because Kiev is better than Odessa. And that's
Oh,
basically my story, guys.
thank you. Thank you for sharing the details because,
Oh,
yeah.
amazing. And thank you so much for feeling Ukraine like your home.
Oh, it is my home. Like I
Yeah,
feel more at home here than in the US, and I
it's
honestly I
great.
don't really have no interest in going back to the US.
Surprise, guys. In 3, 2, 1, I'm spinning. And
In that wheel.
spin the wheel, and it's pretty loud right now. And we have the winner. The winner is 159. Let's go see who that is. 159. 159. Ooh, that's Melissa Kane from Adrian.
Oh,
Melissa
great.
Kane.
That's really awesome.
Where's Melissa?
Keith is in the chat. It's her husband. Is Melissa next to you, Keith? Because I didn't see her in the chat lately. But damn, congratulations. That's
Well, Keith said he left, or he just left right before this, I think.
good night, he said.
Yeah.
Keith,
Oh, yeah, or maybe he's still here. I don't know.
I really hope that he how do you call it? Delayed his leave for a second. Okay.
Yeah, he left right before.
Let's see if he's in the chat. Keith Kane, legend. Yeah, it's basically.
Oh yeah, he's here. He's here.
Holy shit, he says. Yeah. Congratulations, Melissa. Actually, also had happy birthday this week. Was
Yeah.
it? I think it was this week. I already mixed weeks in my head. It's crazy. So, rollers, thank you so much for being here today, for listening to us, and most importantly, for supporting Ukrainian army. That's the best thing you could do these days. I mean, listening to Ukrainians and and Americans too, talking to each other about important stuff, being like socially active is cool, but we need all of us, we need to do it with some sense, and supporting Ukrainian army is the sense. This is the most important thing here. And that's why we talk, and sometimes we entertain you and make you laugh. Sometimes we make you cry. Just like in the beginning of the stream, I was playing the song of Boombox, the new one that is called Живый. I really recommend to listen to this one, Aziza and Corey, and translate the lyrics because, well, Corey, maybe you need to translate it because it's in Ukrainian, and I really recommend because the song is about war. Definitely, it's one of the best songs about war that I heard, definitely, in the last few years, and it got me, and I was shedding tears in the beginning of the stream. I just couldn't stop for 10 minutes, I guess. But this is life. The reality we live right now in Ukraine is not joyful. Sometimes it is. Sometimes we find happiness in all of this mess. Sometimes we find joy, but we need to get rid of the Russian Empire as it is right now to stop all the suffering, pain, and death and destruction that is happening here right now. So to fight that and to eventually defeat them and stop this destruction and genocide they are committing, we need to focus on supporting Ukrainian army. So thank you so much for being effective in that. Thank you, Corey, for being a guest today. It is a pleasure to talk to you more than just hello and 20 minutes and exchange patches and stuff. But yeah, I would love to have you next week, and we gotta do a coffee shop stream together too. It's gonna be an interesting experience too for both of us, I guess. And Aziza,
I'd love that, man. Yeah.
yeah, let's do it. Aziza, and you, as always, you're very welcome here. As you noticed, guys, I'm inviting Aziza to every Sunday stream these days. That's because you know that I really like her and what she does, and I want to support her. And I know that you, all the time that she's here, you also enjoy it a lot. And you know that she brings a lot of amazingness here, if I may say so. Okay, I shut up. I did my final speech. It was a longer one that was probably should be there, but it's still only 1:32 a.m. and it's not that late. Corey, thank you for staying until the very end. It's also very appreciated.
It was a lot of fun, man. Yeah. If it was boring, I would have left early.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. And I mean, we had such awesome people here. Ana, Aziza, and I'm not the most boring dude too, probably.
You're right. Çok seviyor. Also.
Okay, rollers, you stay safe. You stay awesome. Corey, as I always say, live long, prosper, and
prosper.
donate. I add this one.
Thank you, guys.
And-
All right. See you guys. Nice to meet you, Aziza. See you, Rick.
Nice to
Slava
meet you
Ukraini.
too. See you.
Go to
Take
Slava.
care.
Bye.
Bye
You too.
bye. Bye
Safe.
Guys, good night. Bye.
bye.
Bye, Aziza. And the sun will rise over the free Donbass. I love you guys. I will be back on Tuesday. See you then. Bye, guys. Love you all. You're fantastic people, and thank you for all these beautiful moments you shared with me and my guests. You're fantastic. Bye. Thank you for watching. Please like this video, leave any comment under it, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. You can find the full stream recording this clip was taken from here. And I invite you to join us on Rick the Ukrainian here for live streams and videos from Ukraine. Thank you, and live long and prosper.